Good evening, everybody. This is Lynn, back with some more Guild Wars 2, and today I would like to show you my Skywatch Archipelago chest run. Now, some of you may be wondering, okay, how does this differ from a chest run by any other YouTube personality? Well, mine differs in a couple of ways. First and most importantly, I am a working professional. YouTubing is not my day job. I have a different day job. And so oftentimes I don't have the time in the evening to dedicate to Guild Wars 2. And if I'm really feeling economical, which I am lately because I'm trying for my first ever legendary weapon, then I want to prioritize certain dailies. And one of those dailies is my Skywatch Archipelago chest run. And this chest run will include Lesser Arcane Chests, the Shrine Guardian chests, or at least some of them, or Gathering. Because if you too are also trying to get a legendary weapon, then it's highly probable that you're going to need some Mithril or Elderwood too. And this route happens to have a plethora of that. Another important note of this route is that it's not an exhaustive route of Lesser Arcane Chests. I'm not going to every single one of them. I'm going to what I consider to be the highest concentration of chests in the map. Specifically, it goes through a route with the highest number of permanent Lesser Arcane Chests on the map. And most of these chests are also unharassed by enemies, so you can get through it pretty fast. The last time that I did my chest run, and that included gathering all minerals, which, as you know, takes time, I did it in about 12 minutes. So, well, at least that was the first leg. There is a second leg, but the second leg is really only if you really want to go the distance. But the first leg is the most important part of the chest run. And with that said, let's get started. First is this arcane chest. And then I prefer to go over here. Oh yes, highly recommended that you have your updraft skill trained for your sky scale to be able to do this route. You don't need ley lines, but updraft is very helpful. So there's another Lesser Arcane Chest. It's not permanent, but oftentimes it can be found here. And then come over here. This is another chest that's not permanent, so it won't appear in every instance of Skywatch Archipelago. The game is being generous to me today. It's allowing me to mount immediately. Okay. There's also often an arcane chest right here. But it is also not a permanent chest. So I'm going to come over here to this island where I guess the Skyscale trainer has some wild Skyscales. Usually you have to tend to them. Anyway, sometimes there is a Lesser Arcane Chest here. And then I have to come back up this way to the original island. I'm going to go ahead and take the ley line, but again, you don't need to take it. It just drops me off here. I like to get the mithril here. come on. Alright, the next chest is actually one of the Shrine Guardian chests. So these were in Ender Dragons. So to some of the people watching this, that may be familiar, since most people do Ender Dragons before they do Secrets of the Obscure. But if you're the type to jump around, this chest may be new to you. So these Shrine Guardian chests, they're indicative by a kind of magical swirl. This swirl right here. And generally they follow some kind of riddle or task to complete. They're a bit like the Korok seeds in Zelda. They're just usually very quick minigame type stuff. Anyway, there are some chests along this, some Shrine Guardian chests along this route, and I will be pointing them out. They give ancient coin, which is a pretty useful currency in this map and End of Dragons maps. So we're going to come over here to our first permanent chest. You can just bypass all the sky scale. So yeah, I like to get the ancient sapling first. But then I come down here to the chest. And then we come up this way. This building here is called Dagda's Perspective. Don't really understand it myself, but anyway, this chest is also permanent. You will find it on every single instance of the Skywatch Archipelago map. And then I come over this way and drop down here for the next permanent chest. Alright, the next Shrine Guardian chests, you can see the telltale swirl. You have to pick up the stick and smack these boxes. It won't work with your weapons. Okay, the next chest is also permanent. It's also one of the few chests where enemies tend to loiter, so just, you know, beware of that.
Never have too much treasure.
Come on, there we go. And then I come over here. There's always an orichalcum ore on this little piece of land. It's kind of in multiple areas. So if you really want the orichalcum, you know, just come over here and find it. And then I usually get this baobab sapling because I need elderwood. And then I have to go through Radanovis. To this chest right here. So after that chest, there's two rich mithril veins very close by. And they will always spawn on the Skywatch Archipelago maps. This rich mithril vein can be in one of three places. It can be there, or over here, or up there. Yeah, so if you go over here, get out, usually the next the rich mithril vein is here. Or usually it spawns there. Then I come up to the top of the island. And I come across this way. To this rich mithril vein. That rich mithril vein is either there or it's down here. But it does always spawn on the map. Okay, and then the next Lesser Arcane Chest I like to get, it's typically found under this big root here. If you have names turned on, usually you can see it peeking through this this hole, but it's not there, so we're moving on. So then we come over to this line of orbs, and we're going to take them up to this updraft generator. And then we're going to fly over to this big sky island. So oftentimes... Sorry, I'm trying to make sure my wings aren't in the way. So there's often a Lesser Arcane Chest in this little nook. Okay, and then I like to come over here. The next Lesser Arcane Chest is also not permanent, and it can be found down here. Okay, and then the next chest I get is a Shrine Guardian chest. So you see this weird hawk. It's just kind of sitting on this pillar, and there's swirls of light around it. That's the Shrine Guardian chest hint. You land on it, and now suddenly there's like a racing track. And it kind of leads you in a merry chase around the island. As far as I know, there is not any kind of timer. You don't have to complete this in a certain amount of time. Just follow the trail, and it will take you to a chest. And it's up to you whether you think it's worth it or not, but I think it's pretty simple, so might as well. And that's the chest. And then, of course, I like to come over here and get this rich orichalcum vein. Alright, now that they're done talking, let's get back to it. So I then fly up. Actually, no. Just to make sure I don't forget. Just of note, there is often a Lesser Arcane Chest here. Okay, now let's fly up this jagged rock. Yeah, just hit as high as you go, and you'll find a Lesser Arcane Chest here. And that is the first leg of my Skywatch Archipelago chest run. It is the most fruitful part of the run. The next part of the run is honestly, I mostly recommend doing only if you're feeling lucky. But on that note, there are 3 Shrine Guardian chests to pick up, so it's not that you don't have a chance of getting any chests, but I do have to say the chests that appear at the Wizard's Tower are unfortunately sparse. They don't often appear there, at least not in my experience. Maybe we'll be lucky today. Okay, so the next Shrine Guardian chest, you'll see it's another rock just kind of sitting here, being magical. And then we're going to fly over to the series of rocks that will get you up to the Wizard's Tower. This is where the updraft skill really comes in handy. It just makes it a lot simpler and faster. And this way. Alright, so once up here, I like to go right first. So sometimes there is a Lesser Arcane Chest here. But most importantly, there are red oak saplings that you can get elderwood from. Excuse me. Okay, our first Lesser Arcane Chest and a Shrine Guardian Chest. I'm going to get the Shrine Guardian Chest first. And then I like to get my Warclaw and run along. We're now going to go to the other side of the Wizard's Tower Island. And while we're going, you'll see another kind of auspicious rock. It's another Shrine Guardian chest, so go ahead and pick that up. And then we're going to keep going. Oh, look. We are feeling lucky today. Whoops. Dang it. Yeah, that Lesser Arcane Chest is not permanent. Okay, yeah, and then the next Lesser Arcane... the next Lesser Arcane Chest, which is not permanent, can be found in this little, like, nook. Alright, and then I come back... pick up this red oak sapling. And then I fall to my doom. Now, if you go through here, so sometimes there's a Lesser Arcane Chest here, but there is not today. Anyway, that is the full extent of my Lesser Arcane Chest. Okay. As I was saying, this is the extent of my Skywatch Archipelago chest run. It's not very long, but it's not meant to be very long. And I hope that there are others out there who will find this guide useful. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. This is Kaolin, signing out.